Hey everybody, it's Mike Shellenberger with a new article co-authored with Alex Gutentag for Public. Democrats appeared to fiercely resist President Donald Trump's agenda during his address last night to Congress. They dressed in pink to symbolize power and protest. They held up signs that said false, no king, and Musk Steals, and were evicted by security guards for refusing to sit down and stay quiet. But viewers of the spectacle left the evening without any clear idea of what Democrats were defending. Some said the pink outfits symbolized the defense of women, but why then had Senate Democrats unanimously just one day earlier voted to allow boys and men to compete in girls' and women's sports? The accusation of Trump as king or dictator or Hitler was also hard to take seriously, given that he won the popular vote 3 months ago and has a popularity rating 15 points higher than that of Democrats. And the Democrats' celebration of 2 of their members being evicted by security is risible given the Democrats' condemnation just a few years ago of Republican members of Congress who had simply heckled Democratic presidents. Democrats nonetheless likely scored some points with the public. Some Democrats held up signs defending Medicaid, which is popular with voters, including swing voters, and with Republicans, in which some Republicans in Congress wish to cut. And Democrats have tapped into genuine anxieties over the potential impact of Trump's agenda on women, his alleged authoritarianism, and the role of Musk in his government. The Democrats' messaging on even their core issues was confusing and all over the place. The problem isn't simply that they can't decide whether to frame Trump as a liar, an authoritarian, or as cruel. It's that they have lodged those accusations against him for 8 years. And voters still elected him president, and he hasn't done anything to change their minds since taking office. The flip side of the same problem is that Democrats haven't presented a positive agenda of their own that might define them as a better alternative to Trump and the Republicans. Most of the protests by Democrats, including the ones who were evicted from the speech last night, signified the lack of a core vision, values, and agenda for America. Little surprise then that 76% of viewers of Trump's speech told CBS News' pollsters that they approved of what they heard. We're, quote, becoming the metaphorical car alarms that nobody pays attention to, wrote U.S. Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania on X just a few hours ago. In fact, the situation for Democrats is even worse than that. Not so long ago, they said that climate catastrophe was inevitable if they didn't get hundreds of billions of dollars in taxpayer money to subsidize green energy. Now Democrats are quiet about the large cuts to green energy subsidies by President Trump and the abandonment of ESG policies by the world's largest energy companies. Every Senate Democrat, as I mentioned, voted to allow boys and men to compete in girls' and women's sports, and yet no member of Congress last night held up a sign saying trans women are women, for example. And many others had long since removed their pronouns from their X bios. And where during Trump's first term in office, progressive leaders, including Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, histrionically accused the president of grave human rights violations for his immigration policy, Democrats did not denounce the decline in border crossings last month to their lowest level in 25 years, thanks to Trump's crackdown. The Democrats' symbolically thin protest on some of the issues they claim to care the most about, and their silence on others, leave the impression of a party that has few core convictions and is driven by vacuous emotionalism. If green investments are so necessary to prevent the apocalypse, why didn't a single Democrat wave a sign about climate change? If Trump's insistence that there are only 2 sexes and that nobody is born into the wrong body is in fact wrong as they claim, then why aren't Democrats accusing him of encouraging trans suicides or even trans genocide? And if Trump is the white supremacist and racist who Democrats have long said that he is, why aren't they defending the DEI programs that Trump has eliminated? The obvious answer to all of these questions is that the Democrats' positions on transgenderism, climate change, and DEI are wildly unpopular and have only become more so as new evidence has emerged. Nearly 80% of respondents to a New York Times poll last month said they supported a ban on males and female sports. The Department of Justice is now investigating the misuse of a $27 billion climate program managed by the Environmental Protection Agency. It appears the billions didn't revitalize anything, noted the Free Press, except the coffers of a range of environmental nonprofits associated with former Obama and Biden administration officials. And in the weeks since Trump signed executive orders abolishing DEI, journalists have reported that the Department of Education, Department of Justice, and Department of Defense had allocated hundreds of millions of dollars for divisive, racially segregationist DEI trainings and initiatives. But that just raises the question of why Democrats aren't putting forward a new, original agenda. The two most high-profile efforts to propose an alternative agenda for Democrats came from the center-left Substacker Matthew Iglesias and from the center-left think tank Third Way. But both of them simply recommend abandoning unpopular Democrat Party agenda items, including transgenderism, climate extremism, and DEI, to make Democrats appear more like Republicans. Neither offered anything new for Democrats to embrace, other than a weak imitation of positions already embraced by President Trump. The result is a kind of Democrat nihilism, where the party seems to stand for nothing and to simply be against Trump and Republicans for incoherent and emotional reasons. So why is that? Why have Democrats failed to create a coherent vision, agenda, and message? If you're not already a subscriber to Public, please subscribe now to support our award-winning investigative journalism, our defense of free speech, and to watch the rest of this video and read the rest of the article.